The words landed on me like a sentence delivered in court, heavy and final. Family sacrifices for family, my father snapped across the dinner table, his jaw tight, his eyes full of disappointment. Your sister needs you, my mother added, her voice sharper than the knives laid out beside the untouched food. I sat there in silence, my face calm, my posture steady, letting the noise wash over me. Arguing was pointless. It always had been. They weren't asking me to help her. They were demanding it, demanding that I empty out years of disciplined savings into the bottomless pit of her latest fantasy. Their golden child, their reckless darling, had once again thrown herself into something beyond her depth. And once again, they were ready to sacrifice me to save her. I didn't answer. I simply pushed my chair back, the scrape of wood on tile cutting through their voices, and stood. Without a word, I walked away. Behind me, I heard my mother hiss my name, but I didn't look back. What they didn't know, what they could never have guessed, was that the stage had already been set long before this dinner. They thought I was selfish, cold, unfeeling. They thought I was abandoning her. But the truth was, I had been watching, preparing, waiting for this exact moment. My sister and I had never been equals. When we were children, she was the storm and I was the shelter. I still remember the nights she slipped into my room during thunderstorms, trembling, her small hands clutching my arm. I would hold her until her breathing steadied, whispering that everything would be okay. She once told me I was the only person in the world who made her feel safe. I believed her, foolishly. Because when we grew older, she discovered that bond wasn't just comfort. It was leverage. And she wielded it with the same recklessness she brought to everything in her life. My parents adored her. They forgave her every mistake, excused her every failure, and praised her every whim as brilliance. Me, I was the quiet one, the steady one, the one who never asked for much, who never caused trouble, a shadow useful but invisible. The first betrayal came quietly, like a whisper in the dark. A small withdrawal from my bank account, almost invisible, then another, tiny, insignificant on its own. But I don't dismiss anything. I trace, I verify, I remember, and soon a pattern emerged. Not mistakes, not accidents, her. She had been siphoning money from me for months, using access I'd once given her back when I still believed we were allies. At first, I wanted to confront her, to ask why. But confrontation gives warning. Confrontation gives the enemy time to cover their tracks. Instead, I waited, because betrayal is never a single act. It's a window into someone's character. And if she had done it once, she would do it again. She did. Over and over, she dipped her hand into what I had built, smug and careless, believing I was too naive to notice. I collected everything. Bank statements, transfer logs, even the emails she'd sent her friends bragging about how dumb I was for trusting her. Every word was a nail in the coffin of my trust. That was the night something inside me shifted. I didn't rage, I didn't cry, I didn't run to my parents begging them to finally open their eyes. No, I planned. I began building walls of steel around everything I owned. New accounts in my name only. Investments shielded, layered in places she couldn't dream of reaching. I hardened my life against her intrusion, dollar by dollar, brick by brick. And while I did it, I let her believe she still had control. Because people who think they are winning grow careless. They expose themselves. When she finally came forward with her startup, it was almost laughable. A shallow idea recycled from online articles, wrapped in the kind of empty buzzwords she didn't even understand. Disruption, innovation, scalability, words without weight, spoken with a confidence she hadn't earned. My parents ate it up, star-eyed, enchanted by their daughter's supposed brilliance. They didn't see the holes, the contradictions, the lies, but I did. And so when they leaned across the dinner table and demanded my support, I said no. Calmly, flatly, as though I hadn't already moved every dollar I owned into an untouchable vault. That was when the mask slipped. That was when my parents revealed the truth I had always known. I wasn't a child to them. I was a resource. I was the backup plan. And refusing to play that role was, in their eyes, betrayal. 2 days later, the first domino fell. My sister's startup account, the one she had boasted about endlessly, was frozen. The investors she claimed had committed funds, exposed as lies. The website she had rushed to launch, reported for plagiarism, word for word, copied from existing businesses. Because I had sent them everything. Every bank transfer, every screenshot, every smug email. I packaged it neatly and delivered it to the people she had deceived, her supposed partners, her fake backers. Piece by piece, her little empire of sand crumbled under its own weight, and she never saw me move. That morning, my phone rang. My mother's voice spilled through her. Up the line, ragged with panic. They froze everything. Your sister, she's being investigated. Did you know about this? Tell me you didn't. I almost laughed. Instead, I let her words hang in the silence. I could hear my father in the background demanding answers, his voice rough and angry. But I said nothing, because silence is a weapon, and I had learned how to use it. They waited for me to step in, to fix it, to sacrifice myself once again for the girl they had crowned as their golden child. But I didn't. Because now, finally, they were being forced to see the truth. She had been feeding off me for years, and they had let it happen. I didn't need to argue. I didn't need to scream. I let them sit in the wreckage of their illusions, let them taste the bitterness of realizing the golden child was nothing but gilt paint over rust. For days afterward, the calls came. Some pleading, some angry, some desperate. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. My silence was more final than any explanation could have been. And so this morning, as I stood by the window of my quiet apartment, coffee warm in my hand, I felt nothing but clarity. Outside, the city moved with its usual rhythm, uncaring, unbroken. Inside, I finally understood the truth I had been circling for years. My sister had played her game, reckless, arrogant, careless. She believed in bluffing and charming and manipulating. But me, I don't bluff, I don't gamble, I don't hope for luck to save me. I calculate, I execute, I finish. My parents once told me that family means sacrifice. They were wrong. Family means accountability. And for the first time in her life, my sister was forced to face it. I didn't rage, I didn't shout, I didn't explain, I simply walked away. And in that silence, she lost everything